Now to global warming, so-called climate action, net zero by 2050, Glasgow and all of that. The Prime Minister is on his way now. First, he'll be off to Rome for the G20, then to Glasgow. And if you're a bit worried about what harebrained schemes the political elite might come up with in Glasgow, well, then you're right to be worried. I mean, be afraid, I reckon. Be very afraid. Every virtue signaller on the planet will be there, and hypocrisy will fill the atmosphere as they all jet in, of course. Aussie billionaire Twiggy Forrest will fly in on his latest $98 million private jet, and former Prime Minister Malcolm Turnbull will be hitching a lift with him. I guess they were worried a Zoom call to Glasgow might have dropped out or something. Joe Biden will be there too. Someone will have to tell him where he is, but he'll be there. The Queen has wisely decided not to go. It'd be hard enough to take this if you were feeling sprightly, but she's been a bit crook. Prince Charles will turn up and represent the royals instead, which should be a lot of fun, I reckon. I mean, if he can talk to plants without getting heckled, he can surely talk to a United Nations delegation and perhaps talk them into a vegetative state. The Chinese President Xi Jinping won't be there. He'll be back in Beijing, cranking up coal and steel production and laughing at how the Western nations are indulging in self-harm. But just to give you more of an idea of how bad this stuff is, it won't surprise you to know that Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau will be there. We can rely on him to be woke. Let's hope he doesn't do anything silly like dress up in blackface. But have a look at who he has just put in charge of environment and climate policy. This Greenpeace activist, Stephen Guilbeault, climbed Toronto's CN Tower, unfurled this flag and was arrested. This was back in 2001, 20 years ago. Here's what he said at the time.
Greenpeace is climbing the world's tallest building today to tell the world not to be fooled by the Liberal government. As the talk on climate change starts, we want to tell the world that the Bush and Canadian administration are out to kill the Kyoto Protocol.
You know the type, don't you? We've still got them now. They glue themselves to the roads here every now and then. But Guilbeault has now been appointed as Canada's Environment and Climate Change Minister by Justin Trudeau. Yes, the uber-woke Prime Minister has appointed a radical activist to run Canada's emissions reduction and climate policies. What could possibly go wrong, hey? But when you listen to him speak now, as Environment Minister, speaking this week, there's just something that I think is even more worrying.
Investors are moving away from fossil fuels and investing in clean technologies, in renewable energy. The economy of the future will be a green economy.
Yeah, you know what's deeply worrying about that nonsense from this radical activist turned Environment Minister? That claim about how it's all going to be so wonderful. Green energy, green jobs, green prosperity. The platitudes, so divorced from reality. Well, the scary thing is that's exactly what our own coalition government is saying now. The big corporates and Western governments are now repeating the same slogans as the crazy activists. This is going to take a long while to play out, but I don't think it's going to end well.